Hi everyone, welcome back to UPSC Optical. A new initiative is coming soon to shape your success. Do ensure that you download the app. It is now available on Android and also on iOS. You can reach out to me not just on Telegram but also on WhatsApp. So don't delay, save the contact number. Let me know if you are going through any difficulty and I'll be there to help you out. Here today we are going to discuss language and communication syllabus and previous year questions. So very quickly we are going to have a look at human language, language acquisition, theories of language development and your process and types of communication including effective communication training. This is our syllabus. Yes, there have been questions on structure, linguistic hierarchy, but the number of questions on property, structure, linguistic hierarchy are less in comparison to the questions on theories of language development, a critical period hypothesis or processes and types of communication. Here you can see that in 10 years we have got 17 questions from language and communication. When you talk about sources, there are no new sources. Everything is very simple. I've always been telling you that follow the classes and you follow the NCERT and you follow CICERLI. When you follow just these many books, every question you will be able to answer with great ease. No new resources. How many of resources or sources are you going to understand and tap into it? All you need to know is that what exactly is the trend. You can see the trend for 10 years or 20 years. For every unit, there is a clear-cut pattern. There is a clear-cut pattern which you have to understand and prepare accordingly. Some topics are given more preference or more priority in comparison to others. I'm going to highlight this here to you again. Here, I want to quickly show you the 10 markers, which is your basically mandatory questions. In your 10 years time, they have asked you 10 markers, means 5 mandatory questions. So 12 questions abhi bhi optional category mein hai, which is giving you a good option, a good option to score more marks because this is such a unit which is limited topics. And if you are prepared really well with these limited topics, you can score in the mandatory section. You can also score really well in the optional section as well. 15 marker 20 markers बहुत अच्छे से आंसर कर सकते हो अगर यूनिट अच्छे से कवर कर लोगे. बट यूनिट कवर करने का मतलब सिर्फ ये नहीं होगा कि आप लोगों ने बुक से थ्योरी पढ़ लिया, आप लोगों ने स्टेजेस पढ़ लिया. यू हैव टू गिव लिटिल बिट मोर. आई हैव ऑलवेज टोल्ड यू नीड टू add examples, you need to add research evidences. If you have been finding it difficult so far, in the new courses all the content has been updated. I have added a lot of resources for everything which you can use directly in your answers. You do not even have to sit and make detailed notes for every single unit. You would just have to read from the slides, you revise from the slides and just use it directly in your answers. To that degree, I'm trying to simplify life, and subject for all of you. So here I want you all to see that what are the kind of questions they have been asking you. Let's just quickly analyze with the theories. Here you can see Chomsky's theory, how exactly it is different from Skinner's theory of language development. The similar sort of comparative questions has been asked multiple times. Here they have asked you a simple question on Chomsky's theory of transformational grammar. So this is not asking you for the comparison, but here I want you to see that this has been repeated here. Comparative analysis of behaviorist and nativist. Nativist again Chomsky and behaviorist Skinner. 3 times question on theory, in that 2 times comparison. Here I want you to have a look. How do Skinner and Chomsky differ in their approach to language development? Again, a comparison in the theories. Here I want you to have a look. Discuss language acquisition at different stages of development in the light of theories of Skinner and Chomsky. So many times they have asked you this particular question. Out of 5, 4 times they have asked you to compare their theories. There are only these 2 theories in the chapter which you all can learn and cram really well. But it's not just going to be about the theory. Please ensure that you add the research evidences which I have provided you in the classes. I've given you a lot of research evidences for universal grammar, transformational grammar and even for Skinner's theory, both supporting and criticizing. You should be providing it in your answer to enrich your answer. Briefly, of course, with every single point which you are adding, you should give a research which is supporting or criticizing that particular point. So research part, along with the theoretical part, when you combine, you will be able to fetch higher marks in comparison to other people. Now I'm going topic wise today, not going year wise, because I want you to just see that how many times these topics are repeated. I want you to now focus on language acquisition and development here. Discuss the components of language acquisition, citing the average age. The typical stages which we have discussed or which all of you are reading: cooing, babbling, one word which is hollow phrases, telegraphic speech to whole sentences. The age associated to all of these stages you have to highlight in your presentation. So when you are writing your answer, do ensure that you are giving examples here as well. The examples are very clearly available in books as well. I have taught you in classes also. So whatever, does not matter where you're studying, how you're studying, you just have to ensure that you are giving the required information in a manner that it includes some examples and some researchers supporting it. Now moving on to the other part, here I want you to see they're asking you the structure structure and features of language. Well, we have discussed it in our course in detail with very important keywords, right? So all of that is very easy for you guys to mark, students who are, part of comprehensive course. And for other students who are doing self-study, right, you have to ensure that you are adding structure, you are adding features properly with keywords, otherwise you will not get marks. No vague sentences, no vague statements. Ensure keywords are part of each and every statement. How exactly the structure and features of language, focusing on what makes human language unique in comparison to communication in animals. So you talk about the structure and features of human language, you highlight the studies which are conducted on animals, where they have tried to train animals with human language, but to what extent they have been successful and where exactly they are finding the limitations. All of these components are going to be part of this question, and it is easily doable. But of course, in the examination hall, if you're finding it difficult, you can choose other questions. You should not be taking stress about any of these things. Moving on to the next part, how can language be analyzed for its similarities across culture? Now this is very important. It again, comes down to your structures, features across languages. You talk about semantic universals, you talk about all the other examples I'm discussing with you all in the class. Do ensure that the keywords are part of your answer again, otherwise it is not going to work. You talk about the grammatical similarities, you talk about semantic universals. These are important keywords. With every such keyword, do add examples in the researches the way I've given you in the slides. Take it, directly add it in your answer. Explain with scientific evidences, and this is the reason why you have been provided with those scientific evidences, right? Then here you can see different rules of language. This everyone has studied. Very simple stuff. You're talking about your phonemes, your morphemes. You talk about the syntax, semantics, pragmatics, and in classes I have provided you a few additional ones. Do add those into your answer for rules of language. Critically analyze critical period hypothesis. A very important concept, connects with Chomsky's theory, has been asked repeatedly. Here you can see critical period hypothesis. Here you can see evaluate critical period hypothesis. You can also see critical period hypothesis here, right? And I believe not just that. Okay, just that. Only these many times they have asked you about the critical period hypothesis. It has been asked 3 times. Last they have asked it 2019. So yeah, you can definitely expect it in 25, 26. Along with bilingualism or multilingualism, or again connecting it back to Chomsky's theory. That is a very high possibility. Concept-wise, it is very simple. Always you should cite Jenny's example, but do add a couple of research evidences that support, or mainly it is going to be supportive that support the critical period hypothesis. You can also tell the point that we have derived it from biology, and all of those points are going to be very good. They'll help you fetch few extra points. Now I want to discuss questions related to communication and questions related to mainly strategy, effective communication strategy. So here you see questions are asked about non-verbal process of communication. Easy, very simple. Non-verbal process of communication includes your body posture, gesture, your eye movement. You talks about your pragmatics. You talk about the haptic, basically the touch base, the space you maintain when you are communicating. All of these things. So you talk about the non-verbal process, including examples. When you talk about the flow of the question, you start with communication, effective communication, importance of non-verbal communication. Then you talk about the features or characteristics, add examples with these characteristics, and then you move on to highlight that effective communication requires verbal and non-verbal by adding some limitations of non-verbal communication. Alone with non-verbal communication, you cannot express complex phenomena or ideas. Correct? Moving on to the next part here. Explain the various limitations of verbal communication. Very simple, straightforward. Mostly the flow of the question is going to be like the one I told you for non-verbal, but here you have to focus on limitations, and with limitations you can again provide few examples and research evidences. When you do that, you will be able to score better marks. Here the question is, discuss the steps involved in effective communication training. Okay, the same question is here as well. What are the steps for effective communication training? Same question. Describe the strategies of effective communication training. The steps and strategies are more or less same. There are not big differences. When you cover it from the slide, all the tools and the strategies have been provided to you. You have to simply add it in your answer. Where the steps are more detailed, you teach them, engage in active listening. You teach them verbal, non-verbal, and active listening principles, how exactly they can do it better. You are also going to you're also going to train them, about the social niceties part. You focus a lot more on the pragmatics, which is again, emphasizing and expanding a lot more on your non-verbal processes, and you are going to talk about different strategies like your observation or your rewards or your association, making them understand about the culture and the cultural differences. All of these things play a very important role when you present it in your answer. It is always going to facilitate your scores. Do not give 1 or 2 dimension and then expand too much on that. Rather, you should always emphasize to provide more dimensions, and briefly with high quality keywords you should emphasize on the importance of all of these points. That's how you will be able to score marks when other people are struggling in writing the required answers. Now here is this question. I'm going to come to it in a minute. Let me just quickly discuss with you one more part. Here you are seeing bilingualism and cognitive development, correct? And where else do we have here? Bilingualism and multilingualism. See, the connection between bilingualism, multilingualism and cognitive development is a very important one. You cannot just simply tell what bilingualism is or multilingualism is. You have to add that how exactly it works. You have to give research evidences which support the cognitive development because of being bilingual or multilingual. Well, I have given you 9 to 10 points as evidences, right? If I'm not wrong, 9 to 10 or somewhere between 7 to 9 points you have. And I want you to use these researches to highlight the importance, not just the point which fall under the heading, but also the points when you specifically talk about the processes, various points like where we talk about the neural processing, right? Or the neuro processing, when you talk about the code switching, how exactly their language acquisition works, the typical memory related points, how their memory is enhanced, right? And also the point wherein I have told you about the metalinguistic awareness. All of these points you should be adding in your answer. These are going to be part of the processes. Please make a note, all of you. These are all part of your processes. And outcomes are simply this: the relationship between cognitive development and bilingual and being multilingual, right? So what exactly happens to your cognitive development? It is definitely enhanced. It is better than other people. You are also able to experience high degree of cognitive flexibility. You're also able to experience high degree of cognitive flexibility. These terms, is something which I'm saying tend to be missing in the answers of students, which is very much needed. You cannot afford to skip on the terms which are very important. Talk about cognitive rigidity, talk about cognitive flexibility, what makes your mind or your cognition more flexible, how are these things helping you, becomes important point. More we can discuss in class. We are learning, we are going to learn each and everything in detail, but more or less this kind of sums up literally everything about this unit. Here they have asked you a different question: ethno-linguistic vitality. Many of you might find it a little difficult or weird. I have discussed this question, I believe, briefly with you in one of the previous videos. Here I want to tell you that language and culture are very important, right? Very, very important. And directly or indirectly, they are going to ask you about the language and culture, the association. Ethno-linguistic vitality focuses on a very similar idea. When a particular language has low vitality, that language is not going to survive. But when a language has high vitality, when it is used more, there are chances for that language to survive. And this is, just the idea. This is just the concept which I have told you in one line. But it is not going to work for you if you are not aware about it. You will not find it in the books easily. The question is asking you very specific, in very specific terms, that what exactly are the factors which are related to ethno-linguistic vitality in the Indian context. Now here is what I am planning. I am planning to make a video on ethno-linguistic vitality, and I will upload it on YouTube so that all of you can understand that how you can tackle these kind of questions, how to present your ideas, especially when they're asking you to answer these questions in the Indian context. If you want me to upload the video, do like this particular video on trend analysis to give me a hint that you want me to make more such videos for you and share it with you. As of now, if you want me to put a video on ethno-linguistic vitality, let me know. Once this video is uploaded and I get your review, your feedback, I will try to upload ethno-linguistic vitality video as soon as possible. That is all for language and communication. Highly scoring unit, 1 to 2 questions directly. All of you can, get in your kitty. You will be able to score really good marks if you ensure that you are adding a lot of examples and researches. Do your best. Wherever you feel you need help, just let me know. All the best to all of you. Please take good care of yourself.